Hi everyone and welcome back. I know it's been a long time since I posted a video lesson, but I figured it was time. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Now let's start off very simple. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to the new vocabulary and kind of familiarize you guys out there with the names of the actors in our dialogue that we'll be following along with today. We begin with Sakai. Now, Sakai is a family last name. And so let me break it down. It's Sakai. Sakai. Next we have Kazunori, which is a given first name. And let me break it down. It's Kazunori. Kazunori. Next we have Kawamoto. Now, Kawamoto is a family last name. Let me break it down once again. It's Kawamoto. Kawamoto. And the last name that we have here is going to be Natsuko. Natsuko is a first name. Let me break it down. It's Natsuko. Natsuko. Now that we have the names out of the way, let's begin with the real vocabulary for this lesson. And the first one is Kochira koso. Let me break it down. Kochira koso. Kochira koso. And this means same here. Our next word is Yukkuri. Let me break it down. Yukkuri. Yukkuri. And this means slowly. Our third and final vocabulary word is Dozo. Let me break it down. Dozo. Dozo. And this means please. Now, I want you to listen to some grammar points that I'm going to go ahead and read to you. It's very important that you remember these topics, and it gives you a bigger idea of names in Japan and the order that they're used. Let's begin with today's grammar point covers two topics, names in Japan and the phrase Kochira koso. When introducing oneself in Japan, it is common to put the last name first and the first name last. It is usually only informal and more intimate or familiar relationships that someone will be addressed by the first name. However, it is recognized that foreigners may often reverse the order and thus have more leeway in this matter. One should note, though, that whichever name they give first will usually be the name that is used to address them. For example, if John Smith introduces himself like so, Watashi wa John Smith desu. I am John Smith. Then he will likely be referred to as John-san. If he were to introduce himself in the following fashion, Watashi wa Smith John desu. I am Smith John. Then he will likely be referred to as Smith-san. Now, with that in mind, the second topic covered here is the word Kochira koso, which was part of our vocabulary. This phrase consists of two words, Kochira, here meaning this person, and the part koso. This is a particle that emphasizes the preceding word. Thus, the literal meaning will be roughly translated to this person for sure. Depending on the context, the translation of this phrase could be same here, or the pleasure is mine, or it is I who should say so, etc. Because of the nature of this phrase, it should be used as a response rather than an initial remark. For example, we have, if somebody says to you, Hajimemashite, they're trying to say, nice to meet you. And you would respond using Kochira koso, Hajimemashite. And you just said to this person, the pleasure is mine. Now, just as a little note, that Hajimemashite part, that was covered in the first lesson. If you haven't had a chance to listen to the first lesson, please do so. It will give you a better idea of the dialogue that we'll be covering in this lesson. So we're building on vocabulary. Now on to the dialogue. I'll be covering the two characters in this lesson. One is male, his name is Kazunori, and the other is female, and her name is Natsuko. We start off with Kazunori starting up a conversation, and he says, Hajimemashite, Watashi wa Sakai Kazunori desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Our character Natsuko responds, Kochira koso, Hajimemashite. Watashi wa Kawamoto Natsuko desu. Dozo Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Now, I know that sounds incredibly fast, but it's something that you have to get used to in the Japanese language. They speak very fast. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down and also translate it to you. We start off with what Kazunori said. He started off saying, Hajimemashite. Nice to meet you. Watashi wa Sakai Kazunori desu. I am Kazunori Sakai. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Please be kind to me. Our second part is Natsuko when she responds, Kochira koso, Hajimemashite. Same here. Nice to meet you. Watashi wa Kawamoto Natsuko desu. I am Natsuko Kawamoto. Dozo yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Please be very kind to me. And ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps it up for our second lesson. I hope that this was helpful, and I'm always interested in listening to your opinions and your help in making the lessons just easier for the listeners to understand. Until next time, Jane!